Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 21 video. In today's episode, we're going to be rebuilding the San Francisco 49ers, but with the new addition of Colin Kaepernick. Yes, this did not happen in real life. Yes, this update came out 2 weeks ago. I was busy, I know. Colin Kaepernick will be returning to his new team on the San Francisco 49ers in an unrealistic style, so I don't want to hear in the comments how my trades are unrealistic or how getting Colin Kaepernick is unrealistic, and we're dropping Jimmy Garoppolo whether you guys like it or not, just for the sake of the rebuild. Now, here we are in free agency here to pick up Colin Kaepernick, and he seems to be a special kind of special, because if you go to Cameron Wake here and you try to sign Cameron Wake, it says, "Attention, are you sure you want to sign this player?" is what it says. Just if you want to sign any other free agent is what it says. But Colin Kaepernick, oh, he's a special kind of special. He gets the whole, "Congratulations, you're about to sign C. Kaepernick. Hit yes to confirm." Why does he get to be so much special than any other free agent player? I think it's kind of dumb, but overall, we are picking up Colin Kaepernick now, and Colin Kaepernick is now going to be our starting QB, and oh my god, I did not know his afro was that big, especially in that kind of picture. But Colin Kaepernick is here, 32 years old, normal development. In Madden terms, he will develop into absolutely nothing. So, again, I'm about to make an unrealistic move. Go cry about it in the comments. I'm going to change his age to 24 because he can't progress at all, and this rebuild will be literally nothing if he can't progress. So this is about the rebuild, guys. Just we're magically pretending he's 24. Jimmy Garoppolo, we're going to end up trading him just because we have Colin Kaepernick, and this entire rebuild is completely based around Colin Kaepernick. So you guys are going to have to deal with it. But looking into the rest of the team, we have Deebo Samuel and apparently a rookie receiver who I've never heard of. And we have Raheem Mostert in this O-line, which is pretty good. And George Kittle, the best tight end in the league. Travis Kelce is not better. And Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw, the rookie, Nick Bosa, Richard Sherman, some good safeties, and an overall great defense. Offense is overall solid. George Kittle is really the standout player on the offense, but everyone else looks pretty good here. I'm probably going to move D Ford to the inside because he has wasted potential if he's just a second string left end. So I'm going to get into that. Okay, now that D Ford is a defensive tackle, I'm going to start Javon Kinlaw over him, and this team looks pretty good. So apart from that, guys, I would say that it is time to get into some trades. For the first unrealistic trade, we're trading Jimmy Garoppolo back to the Patriots and Jerick McKinnon and a second-round pick for a first, and a sixth. And now we're trading away, I think, Solomon Thomas it is, and Benjamin, our wide receiver, for a first and a fifth from the Green Bay Packers. And that's going to be all the realistic trades for now. And Colin Kaepernick, I'm just going to keep him at normal development. This entire rebuild is based on Colin Kaepernick. So again, I'm emphasizing, don't tell me how this rebuild is unrealistic. I am aware how unrealistic it is because every team has already expressed that they do not want Colin Kaepernick on their team. So this team looks pretty good to me. So I think it is time to get into the midseason mark. Now here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a win to the Seattle Seahawks, as we are 6-2, top of the division above the Seattle Seahawks, and I definitely don't think that's politically rigged to where they would make Colin Kaepernick magically good in simulation to make him a good player. Definitely don't think EA is political, and I hope you can tell by my sarcasm. And we re-signed Trent Williams, the left tackle, on a huge deal. Richard Sherman is here, and I don't know how I feel about Richard Sherman. I feel like he could regress pretty hard or not hard. I don't know. Superstar X Factor, 91 overall. I feel like he would be a good player for 1 or 2 years, but I would just like to see how he regresses. So we're going to hold off on that contract for now. I do want to keep this somewhat realistic and keep Kyle Juszczyk as he wants more money. I don't want to re-sign Jordan Reed. He's just too old. Tevin Coleman, I feel like I could just pick up a running back in the draft that's just as good. Jaquiski Tartt is here. I do not have an interest in him, and everybody else here I don't really have an interest in. Maybe Kendrick Bourne. No, he wants too much money for what he's worth. Colin Kaepernick is here, but we can't negotiate with him until week 12, and it's only week 9. So apart from that, guys, I would say that it's time to jump into the playoffs. And here we are in the playoffs, making the wild card at 3-13. I don't know how we would make the wild card at 3-13, but we're coming off a win to the Seattle Seahawks as we win the division over the Seattle Seahawks. And looking into the stats, Colin Kaepernick had a great year. Definitely doesn't seem rigged to where his sim stats would be good. 5th best offense, 2nd best defense. And Colin Kaepernick, 4,300 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. Tevin Coleman, terrible year for him, absolutely terrible. Raheem Mostert had more touchdowns than him. Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, both over 1,000 yards, and George Kittle with 11 TDs. Defensively, K'Wan Alexander with the most tackles on the team. Most tackles for a loss goes to 22 for Nick Bosa. Most sacks on the team is 10 for Nick Bosa. Most interceptions is 3 for Jaquiski Tart. And most safeties is 1 for Dre Greenlaw, 1 for Nick Bosa, and 1 for Eric Armstead. And defensive touchdowns is 0. So overall, great stats. I think Colin Kaepernick, being an 81 overall normal development, shouldn't have those stats. I know it's definitely rigged towards him having good stats, but we're going to simulate this wildcard round, and we win here to face the 11-5 Green Bay Packers. I'm going to simulate this one as well. Can we move on to the conference championship? And we can, here to face Tom Brady in the 10-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm going to auto sim that upgrade. But apart from that, guys, I would actually like to hop into this one, so let's jump straight into it. Now, here we are as we are in the third quarter against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as it is 24-13, and we are in the red zone. Now it is 16-24 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the fourth quarter with 4.5 minutes left, 19-24 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm going to hop in here to see if I can secure a dub. And we do not secure the dub as we take an L. In the conference championship, 27-19 is your final score. And here we are in the offseason as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl 27-20. And we have players to resign such as Richard Sherman, who only seemed to regress 2 overalls, so I definitely do want to resign him. I'm going to resign him just for 1 year, but he doesn't want to resign. $15 million franchise tag. I don't know how I feel about that. Kyle Juszczyk wants more money, and I'm going to give it to him. And he resigns with the team. I don't want to resign Jordan Reed, no Tevin Coleman, no Jaquiski Tarts. I don't want anyone else here except for Colin Kaepernick, because he is the heart and soul of this rebuild, obviously. So Colin Kaepernick, 84 overall now, 87 with morale, star development, 25 years old, aka actually he's 33, but for the sake of this rebuild, he's 25, and he does resign on a big deal. Seems about as big as, I think, Jimmy Garoppolo's contract. I don't know for sure, but I don't know if I want Richard Sherman yet. Let's look into the team to see if we got any development upgrades. And obviously, Colin Kaepernick has star development. And Deebo Samuel has superstar development now. 86 overall, 2 with 2 morale. Energizer is his ability. And our rookie receiver only has star development. Nothing else on offense. But defensively, K'Wan Alexander now has superstar development. And Javon Kinlaw only has star development. So everything else looks pretty good to me. And apart from that, I'm actually going to franchise tag Richard Sherman because I would like him back, considering he only regressed 2 overalls. $15 million franchise tag. I think that's what I would have paid him if I gave him a contract anyways. But here we are in free agency as we only have $1 million in cap room, so we can't do anything with that. So apart from that, guys, I would say that it is time to jump into the draft. And here we are in the draft as we pick at number 20, and our first pick is a halfback who is number 1 in the class, hidden development, 79 overall. Next, we were picking up a defensive back, 76 overall, hidden development, ranked number 4 in the class. We picked him up at number 26. Next, we were picking up a defensive tackle, 78 overall, normal development, ranked number 2 in the class, picked him up at number 30. And next, we were picking up a wide receiver, 71 overall, hidden development, ranked number 32 in the class. We picked him up at number 126. And next, we're picking up a strong safety, 65 overall, hidden development, ranked number 176 in class. Picked him up at 180. Now, that was a lot to take in, but we had an amazing draft, especially for Madden 21. It is really hard to get hidden developments nowadays. So this team looks great. Secondary has not really improved it overall, but improved in youth and potential development on this team. And special teams and specialists do look good to me. So apart from that, guys, I would say that it is time to jump into the midseason mark. Now here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a bye week, as we are 4-3, second in the division behind the Seattle Seahawks, and we have players to resign such as Fred Warner. And Fred Warner is 91 overall, superstar development, middle linebacker, so we're going to want to keep him around. He's going to want a huge contract, which I will give him, and he does stay with the team, as Richard Sherman is here as well, and I do want him back for at least 1 year, but it seems that we have no money at all, so we can't really re-sign anyone here. So it looks like I'm gonna have to make some trades to cut some cap room. Some of them may be unrealistic, but I can't even re-sign Lakeland Tomlinson, so I'm gonna need to go make some trades. So let's jump into it. Now we are trading D Ford to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a second round pick. He was old and he took up $20 million in cap room. Now we're trying to trade our free safety to the Jaguars as well, because they seem to be the only team that has cap room, and they won't accept our free safety for a second round pick. So a third and a 5 will not get it done. I'm probably going to go a third and a 6 and a 7. Let's see what we can do with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Will they accept it? They will not. Let's just remove the 7th. Can they accept it? And they do. A 3 and a 6 for our free safety. Now that we have cap room, we are back here to re-sign some players. Some of those were unrealistic, but D Ford was definitely regressing in age, and he was also taking up $20 million in cap room, and also we drafted a defensive tackle in the draft, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But we re-signed Lakeland Tomlinson to the team, and I don't want Raheem Mostert, considering we have a rookie halfback that seems to be pretty good, considering he was the #1 player in the class, 79 overall hidden development. But Richard Sherman, 89 overall superstar X Factor, does return, and there's no one else here that I really have an interest for. So apart from that, guys, I would say that it is time to jump into the playoffs. And here we are in the playoffs, not making the playoffs, coming off a loss to the Seattle Seahawks, as we finish 8-8, and the Seahawks take the division at 11-5. Colin Kaepernick overall had a pretty good season, 15th best offense and 6th best defense. Colin Kaepernick, 4,200 yards, 29 TDs, 11 interceptions. Melvin Collins, the rookie running back, 5 TDs and only 700 yards. Deebo Samuel, almost 900 yards, 8 TDs. And defensively, Andrew Stanley with the most tackles on the team, most tackles for a loss. It goes to 15 for Nick Bosa, most sacks, 12 for Nick Bosa, most interceptions, 2 for Fred Warner. Very low interceptions. Safeties is 0, and defensive touchdowns is 0. So overall, not great defensive stats at all, but offensively, we were pretty good in passing. So let's get into the offseason. Here we are in the offseason as the Atlanta Falcons beat the Baltimore Ravens in the Super Bowl, as we have players to resign such as Raheem Mostert, but I don't want to resign him, and it looks like we don't even have any money anyways to resign anyone else here. So apart from that, let's look into the team to see the development upgrades, as our rookie running back has superstar X Factor, 83 overall, first one's free. Did he get that? It looks like he apparently had that before. So that's interesting, considering he had a terrible season, with Return Man as his superstar ability, which honestly kind of sucks. But defensively, well, offensively, I don't see anybody else here, as our rookie receiver only had star development, but that's still not bad. We are good on receivers for the draft. And defensively, K1 Alexander now has superstar X Factor with Zone Hawk as his ability, with Adrenaline Rush and Unfakeable. And we need some safeties help, as it looks like our strong safety has superstar development, and he was apparently a second string for some reason, with Secure Tackler as his ability. But we need to pick up a free safety in the draft, as our defensive back, our rookie defensive back, only has star development. So it looks like everyone else here, it looks good to me and looks the same. So apart from that, guys, it is time to jump into free agency. And here we are in free agency, as we are $10 million negative in cap room. So let's jump into the draft. For our first pick, we picked a defensive back, ranked number 5 in the class. Picked him up at number 17, 76 overall, normal development. Next, we were picking up a center, 76 overall, normal development, ranked number 3 in the class. We picked him up at number 23. And here we are with the team after the draft, as I did move that center to right guard as our O-line is upgraded, and defensively, that defensive back is now our new free safety. But apart from that, not a major draft considering the developments were overall pretty bad. So apart from that, guys, I would say that it is time to jump into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a win and shutting out the Denver Broncos, as we are 6-1, top of the division, above the Arizona Cardinals. We have players to re-sign such as Deebo Samuel, 89 overall, superstar development, and we are going to re-sign him, and he does re-sign with us, as we have Mike McGlinchey here as well, right tackle, 89 overall, star development. We do want to keep him around, and he does re-sign. K1 Alexander, 86 overall, superstar X Factor, wants a huge contract. We're going to give it to him as he stays with the team. Dre Greenlaw, the outside linebacker who did get up to star dev, I think over the offseason, he does resign as well, as we have our center here, 31 overall, 79 overall. He is on the older side, but I think he can last a little bit longer, and he stays with the team, as I think we're out of money. We barely have enough for Robbie Gould. Let's see if we can extend it out just a little bit more. This is unrealistic to pay a kicker this much, but he does resign, as Robbie Gould does stay with the team. But apart from that, guys, we have all of our resigns, and it's time to jump into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, coming off a win to the Cardinals, as we have a first round bye, and we are 13-3. This time we're 13-3, and we get a first round bye instead of getting a wild card. But 9th best offense and the best defense in the NFL. Colin Kaepernick, almost 4,000 yards, 31 TDs, 8 interceptions. Melvin Collins, 7 touchdowns and almost 1,000 yards. And Kyle Juszczyk had 10 touchdowns. That was kind of weird. Deebo Samuel had a good season, great ball distribution. Fred Warner with the most tackles on the team, most tackles for a loss, 18 for Nick Bosa, most sacks, 12.5 for Eric Armstead, most interceptions is 2 for Dre Greenlaw, and most safeties is, oh, that's blocks, there's 2 though. Safeties is 0, and that will be it for looking into the stats. So apart from that, guys, it is time to simulate to the divisional round to see who we're going to be playing, obviously. And we are going to be playing the 10-6 Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm actually going to hop into this game to make sure that we can win it. So let's jump straight into it. And here we are in the third quarter, as it is 21-6, as we're pouring it on the Eagles, as now it is 24-6 in the fourth quarter. 2 minutes left in the game as we are driving down the field, 31-6, and now that will be your ball game. 31-6 is your final score against the Eagles. And now here we are in the conference championship, here to face the 10-6 New Orleans Saints, as we are 13-3, and we're going to be playing this game at home. So let's jump straight into this matchup. Now here we are in the third quarter against the New Orleans Saints in the conference championship, as it is 22-27 entering the fourth quarter, as we are in the fourth quarter, obviously. 3 minutes left in the game, still 22-27, as it is 30-20. Now 18 seconds left, and it's 27-30, and that will be your ball game. 27-30 against the New Orleans Saints as we move on to the Super Bowl. And here we are in the Super Bowl, here to face the 9-7 Buffalo Bills, as the Buffalo Bills have lost the Super Bowl, I think 4 or 5 times. Here to give them another loss, and we are here in the Super Bowl looking into the developments to see if there's any upgrades, as Dre Greenlaw now has Superstar and Eric Armstead has Superstar X Factor with Blitz. That used to be the reinforcement logo, and Defensive Rally and Swim Club. I don't know any of those, but Dre Greenlaw now has Superstar Development, which is also pretty cool. So apart from that, guys, I would say that it is time to jump into the Super Bowl matchup against the Buffalo Bills. And here we are in the third quarter as we are beating the living crap out of the Buffalo Bills. That is 26-0, almost entering the fourth quarter, as it is now the fourth quarter, as it is 29-0 against the Buffalo Bills. Can we get the first shutout? No, we cannot. We cannot get the first shutout ever in history, as the Bills are starting to make their way back, but 15-29 is your final score, as the Buffalo Bills are handed another Super Bowl loss, and that will be it. Your Super Bowl MVP is Colin Kaepernick, 354 yards, 1 TD, 0 interceptions, and 69 nice 0.4% completion rate, and that will be it for this season. Anyways, that's it for this season, but we are here to re-sign some players as we don't have any money left and we can't re-sign anyone anyways, and I don't want anyone here anyways. So apart from that, guys, I would say that it is time to jump into free agency. And I just realized we haven't been in free agency not even once during this rebuild because we've been so busy re-signing players and we can't re-sign them once again. Now, here we are in the draft as we are picking up a defensive back, 72 overall, hidden development, ranked number 20 in the class. Picked him up number 32. Another defensive back, 74 overall, normal development, ranked number 14 in the class. Picked him up at number 53. This is what the team looks like after the draft, as we mainly just picked up some defensive backs. We couldn't really trade for anyone in the draft because we don't really have any cap to trade for anybody. But overall, defensive backs did get a little bit of an upgrade, as I just realized Richard Sherman did retire. So apart from that, guys, it is time to get into the midseason mark. And here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a win to the Dallas Cowboys, as we are 5-3 at the midseason mark, as we are also second in the division, as the Seahawks are on top. And this whole to reorder glitch is still in Madden, and EA still hasn't fixed it, and it's pissing me off. But apart from that, guys, it is time to get into the playoffs. And here we are in the playoffs, as we are here to face the 10-6 Seattle Seahawks as we take the division. And we're going to look into the stats, as Colin Kaepernick had a great year, third best offense in the NFL. And this whole to reorder crap is still on my screen, and it's really ticking me off. But we had the 24th best defense. That was terrible. Colin Kaepernick, 4,200 yards, 37 TDs, 9 interceptions. Melvin Collins, over 1,000 yards, 8 TDs. Eric Maxwell, almost 1,000 yards, 6 TDs. And defensive-wise, Fred Warner, 134 tackles and tackles for a loss, 20 for Eric Armstead, 14.5 sacks for Nick Bosa, and 3 interceptions for Andrew Stanley. And safeties is 1 for Nick Bosa, and defensive touchdowns is 2 for Andrew Stanley. Had quite the breakout year. But apart from that, guys, I'm going to simulate this wild card round to see if we can move on to divisional round. But apparently the whole to reorder glitch isn't on my screen anymore. Never mind, it's there. Okay, we are here to face the 11-5 Washington football team. I'm going to simulate it to see if we can move on to the conference championship, and we cannot, as we get shut out by the Washington football team 14-0. And we are going to end out this video because that's going to be it, guys. Hope you guys all enjoy this video. Colin Kaepernick was a very interesting rebuild to do. I don't think anyone has really done it yet, but apparently Terrell Jackman doesn't really have a face anymore. I don't know why his face card isn't showing up. But apart from that, guys, thank you guys all for the support on this channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.